Martin, the CMO of Above the Fold. So do you ever feel that you're leaving money on the table with your digital marketing campaigns? What if I told you that by layering on some additional strategies and inventory that you could add up to 44% more conversions? Well, today we're going to discuss the power of programmatic advertising and how it could help round out your digital targeting to drive incremental performance. So in today's fragmented media landscape, we know how many options there are, but programmatic gives you the ability to connect to your audiences beyond where you could find them on paid search and social, and it helps capture valuable assisted conversions that would be completely missed otherwise. So let's jump in. In this presentation, I aim to make it crystal clear how programmatic advertising can be a game changer when you layer it into your digital marketing strategies, such as your paid social and PPC campaigns. But before we dive into specifics, let's step back to one of our favorite words, performance marketing. Well, at its core, performance marketing is any advertising that's optimized to drive measurable actions to achieve business objectives. So whether it's branding, retention, personalization, or conversion, the key is measurability and making data-driven decisions. So in performance marketing, you're able to clearly track outcomes and attribute them back to ad campaigns. We have to keep in mind, though, it's not all last click measurement. All your campaigns are going to work together, and we need to look at touch points together and how all the campaigns are working side by side to help move users down that journey to win their hearts and minds. In the last 10 years, performance marketing, digital marketing, all of these options have rapidly evolved so quickly. And today we have so many channels and strategies at our fingertips. And so not only website marketing, SEO, PPC, paid social, we also have TV channels and audio channels that can be bought digitally. And so they can fit into that whole realm of digital advertising. So I understand as a CMO that you can't always do every channel, mostly with different types of budgets and smaller budgets. So you do need to focus in on fewer channels that you can optimize well and continue to test as you can. But too often companies focus in on search and social and don't ever diversify even when their budgets are large enough. And you have to think, is it really enough if you're focusing on solely on two platforms to drive growth and performance? Every digital channel has its own roles and strengths, and often they can't be directly compared as silos, but instead we need to look at how they work together. So in today's landscape where users are splitting their time across various sites and apps and devices, we need the flexibility to engage them wherever they are. And programmatic is tremendously valuable for driving awareness and conversions. But the key is layering in programmatic to complement the more limited search and social efforts in order to leave no conversions on the table. A significant 76% of daily digital consumption occurs outside of social media, with audiences indulging in streaming music, gaming, OTT and connected TV content, online press, and podcasts. So interestingly, while search engines are a significant source for brand discovery, over half the population discovers brands through TV and video, illustrating that the multi-channel nature of the modern consumer journey. So think about a consumer's typical day. So they might start out with social media, just right when they're in bed, kind of checking out the day. Then they start commuting, they listen to music, they read news during lunch, they search for dinner options on Google or go to their favorite recipe sites. And on their way home, they might open up an app on their phone and see a digital ad. And then they might sit down in the living room and watch some TV on one of their favorite streaming apps. So if your brand strategy revolves only around the touch points of social media and search, you're missing out on so many potential opportunities to connect. And programmatic allows you to complete this journey, getting in all those spots you're missing, and ensuring your brand message reaches them consistently across these premium omni-channel touch points. So from Facebook and Twitter to Spotify, HBO Max, and even digital out-of-home platforms like Vistar Media and Clear Channel, programmatic helps bring that holistic reach into fruition. To truly maximize value from programmatic advertising, marketers need granular insights on performance. We all agree that performance is immensely valuable. And by looking at granular insights, this will allow you to optimize your strategy and media activations over time. So there are 4 key areas to focus on. First, reach and channel diversification. Programmatic gives you the ability to craft a cohesive story for your audience that connects across the most impactful channels and devices. So you can understand which channels drive awareness and consideration and which ultimately drive conversions. Second, data. Programmatic harnesses the power of data to reach the most relevant consumers for your brand. So when you're maximizing the value of first, second, and third-party data, you gain a deeper understanding of your target audiences. So this is a connective tissue, all allowing you to engage precisely the right users. Third, personalization. With programmatic, you can craft a customized brand story for each consumer and adjust in real time based on what resonates. Dynamic creative optimization takes personalization to the next level, where essentially each individual consumer or audience could see a different ad. And fourth, measurability. With transparent reporting, you can gather insights on exactly how much media activation contributed over time to driving a conversion. So this closed loop attribution helps you optimize spend. So by focusing on these 4 areas, you gain clear visibility into how your programmatic strategy is performing. So instead of a spray and pray approach, you can make data-driven decisions on how to maximize impact and ROI. You can make the most of your own data and also combine that with untapped, high-quality audiences and sources of data. And so unlike how search and social have really started becoming more of a black box where you don't have the insights into who they are reaching with broad audience targeting, and you are not able to layer on first party, second party, and third party data to really curate how you're reaching. But with programmatic, you can use the most valuable data to target audiences. So your first party data that you can gather from the site, your CRM list can be utilized in a variety of ways, also to build lookalike audiences. You're also able to access retail data. So you can access data provided by Walmart and other retail outlets in order to find users in those platforms and the rest of the web. And you can also utilize third-party data. You have an immense amount of data marketplace available with third-party data segments. All data providers that you could buy one-off data from are likely available to buy within programmatic with one efficient budget. So the data coming in is highly valuable, curated, and it can be customized to your individual goals. And then there is an immense amount of data coming out to actually understand what audiences are working best. You can still get that granular data on audiences that you're really not really able to get anymore from paid social, and to learn about them and test at that scale that you could then roll out and use to help improve your paid social and PPC campaigns. Whenever you add on more channels, it's important that users see diversified messaging and not the same message over and over again. We want to have personalized and sequential conversations with your audience. So if you imagine adding in a few more touch points of programmatic, you could have a longer form video on connected TV that helps introduce like a new menu item at a restaurant or a new product offering. But you need to have a little bit more time to show them that. Then than just a paid search or ad that shows on search results or just a short video on social. Being able to serve it where they can't skip it, it's playing in their living room and you're able to connect with them on a different level. And then you can also use video in new ways with pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll that shows on any website or app they might be viewing, but they can also see those longer spots with more information. And then if you think about like a display ad that could show to them right after they've been searching for your competitors or looking at other products, they can show that their intent is really focused on purchasing. And so they see that message very quickly, right, when they're in that low funnel strategy. And all of these touch points are important and they all work with each other. And as users see more touch points that are personalized and sequential, the overall conversion rate should increase. So I've touched on this a couple times, but we think about the walled gardens, which are social platforms. We're losing a lot of the transparent insights that we used to have. And so we can't really test audiences side by side. We're not able to do lookalike. Just the performance has really gone down with the privacy changes that have happened on those platforms. And so we've stepped away from being able to test and learn and granularly target because of the inability to see the performance. But programmatic still allows this very detailed targeting down to specific ideal customer personas. You can still test at a creative level, at an audience level. So if you are utilizing programmatic for more of your campaigns, maybe more of the awareness and consideration stages where you really need to test and learn, you can take those transparent insights and use that to inform and optimize all of your other strategies. But as we've moved more away from having that insight, we've been kind of just letting algorithms make decisions. And programmatic is also built by AI, but gives so much more detailed, transparent information down to a device level, a time level, demographic level that's just really not available anymore in the other platforms. So let's come back to measurement a little bit. Measurement is extremely important in digital advertising, and as we've gotten more data available, we have to keep in mind that there's much more we need to look at than just the last click. It's very easy to report on last click, last touch. I understand the value of doing that through larger organizations, through sales, needing to show sales qualifications and things like that. But the reliance on only last click attribution discounts all the other steps in a consumer's journey to purchase. And if you think about even just a purchase of a product, on the B2B side, where you're getting a higher value lead or trying to sell a very high cost software, the journey could be much longer than a week, 2 weeks, 30 days. And we need to look at overall growth and all the touch points over time for how the company is actually growing. So when you rely only on last click attribution, you're only seeing one or two of the points and not looking at all of the holistic impact of having touch points and messages along the way. When you're able to take a step back and look at all of the impact of the touch points, you see that more of that journey. So I'm a big advocate for multi-touch attribution tools. There are a lot of providers that have awesome attribution. Definitely need to make sure that you have impression level tracking, not just click-based tracking, because things like connected TV and even display ads and native ads might drive awareness and impact without driving a click. We always help our clients look at multi-touch attribution if they don't have a tool by looking at growth overall, looking at customer acquisition costs when you layer in all of the costs that you're associating with marketing, and then also the new customers, and not necessarily just looking at which one drove it, but how they're all working together. We obviously need profitable companies. We need to make sure that when we're investing in marketing, we are seeing the company grow. And so taking a step back and looking at overall investment and overall growth is really important to that. Of course, it's great if you can integrate in multi-touch attribution to look at more of the touch points and how their actual impact is. But I understand that's not available to everybody. That budget is not available to everybody. But there are other ways to do that, to gain insights from each other, to utilize the transparency and insights of audience and creative and pass that along to help overall improve all the touch points. Performance marketing today is so much more intricate and dynamic than it was 10 years ago. Honestly, even a year ago or 2 years ago. So as brands seek to connect with their audience at every possible touch point, integrating programmatic into the performance strategy isn't just recommended, it's really essential. By doing so, brands can ensure that they're not only present across all digital channels, but they're also harnessing the full potential of their data to drive impressive results. Thank you so much for your time. I'd love to chat with anyone if you want to dive deeper into how programmatic can work for you. We can also do complementary media plans to give you an idea of how different budget tiers could work across different types of strategies. So just reach out to us at getabovethefold.com.